Welcome back, y'all, to another edition of Leaguing Out Bite-Sized Edition. I am joined once again by my last guest on Leaguing Out Bite-Sized Edition. Welcome back, Gotzillard.
Hi, hello. I'm going to be annoying again.
You're here. You're not annoying, you just have very interesting things that you want to talk about that are perfect for this bite-sized format.
You could say I'm neurodivergent. You could say that.
Yeah. So what neurodivergent topic have we decided to talk about today?
Why none of the works of Chris Claremont,
Yes. Yes.
prominent Clareclevil writer.
Yes. So a lot of people might know Drish from his work with the X-Men, but this time we're focusing on Clareclevil. You know, what Claremont has to say about Clareclevil as a character. You know, what makes, why are guys like Michael Bembis considered greats of Clareclevil, but Chris Claremont isn't. We really get into that. So we're going to look at the 4 issues of the Daredevil title, the Clareclevil title. Sorry, it's a little late.
I don't know what Daredevil is.
We're going to look at the 4 issues of the Clareclevil title that Mr. Claremont wrote. We're going to talk about them. We're going to talk about what we thought while we were reading them. And then maybe...
Let's
Yes.
list them. Also, if
Yes.
you go to my profile on League, I have...
Yes,
I
have
have a reading list. But
yes.
This is from the first volume, number 102, number 117, annual number 4, and kind of number 375, along with one panel from Contest of Champions 2, number 3, and the first little story in number 4.
Yes. We'll get into that. We'll talk about it. But let's start out strong with 102. For those that don't know, this is actually Claremont's first published comic as a writer, as the main writer. So, in a lot of ways, this is both him proving his merit as a writer, but also him making a statement on Clareclevil as a character.
Yeah.
We'd already had Stan Lee on the title. I believe Denny O'Neil had already written a little for the title. Steve Gerber. So this is Claremont coming in and being like, I'm young, but damn it, I'm gonna make a statement. And what do you think of that statement?
I thought this was really good.
Yeah.
And it's got all those weird Marvelisms, right?
For sure.
The issue starts out, Daredevil's just swinging under a bridge, and some random civilians are just I hate that guy. I hate that guy for being what I'm not.
Darn you, Clareclevil. We can't stand you. Yeah.
Don't you see that I'm employed, you bum?
Yeah, they do. I think they call him a bum, and I think that's kind of funny. I think they assume this is what Clareclevil does to get paid. He gets paid for cleveling.
I don't know. This is a really good issue, and yeah, like I was saying, you see a lot of what I really do love about Claremont. It's the narration. It's got so much sauce in it.
The female characters are treated a lot more respectfully than you would expect from a comic from, God, I want to say 73? Right?
What is this? I should have pulled my notes up. While you're doing that, I just want to say,
Yeah, May 8th, 1973.
Okay, so I'm really not a Daredevil person. Okay, I've seen that movie and part of the show. That's about it.
Clareclevil Billivan.
Sure. Yeah. And so I just started reading like the Epic Collection where Frank Miller starts up.
Yes.
And so I've only seen like one issue of his art. So like I don't really know what like Daredevil is. Like the platonic ideal of like what a Daredevil story is. And I think just seeing, because it is Frank Miller, right? That's whenever it's really crystallized, and it's like that's what you.
Yeah, I would say the popular opinion is like there's Daredevil before Miller, in a lot of ways similar to Drish Claremont on X-Men.
Of course.
Miller kind of took what Daredevil was and made Daredevil into what he could be. Yes. For sure. So you're an outsider perspective on Clareclevil, basically.
Yeah, and I gotta tell you, like, reading this first issue that he did, I'd be like, yeah, give me, like if X-Men didn't pan out, that this could have been his guy.
Clareclevil could have been the Claremont character, I agree.
And I think a big part of that is Black Widow, and I don't actually know if Claremont's ever written, like, specifically Black Widow before, but I would eat that up, like, in a heartbeat. Just based off this issue, like, he has a lot of respect for her, I think. So how should we do this? Should we kind of like go through the issue?
Yeah, I think we can go through it. So, for context for you hornheads in the audience, this is when Clareclevil is living in San Francisco. Not the second time when Mark Waid is on the book. This is the first time Clareclevil is in San Francisco. And
you know what's really funny about this stupid bit that I made up is that his name is still Matt Murdock. I didn't change that.
Yes. Clareclevil's human identity is Matt Murdock, yes.
Yeah. Anyways. Yeah, so he's just like swinging under the Golden Gate Bridge, as you do.
He's looking for a previously established villain. He's all upset that he can't find this one monster that he's looking for. You know, real, we're gonna get that guy. And he overhears like there's something going on. What's going on over here?
Yeah.
And there's like a bunch of guys that are sitting on boxes that literally say danger, scientific equipment, handle with care. And he just sits on it.
And this guy looks so much like Norman Osborn. Like,
yeah, he's got the cornrows and everything.
Yeah, he's got the waves, like, with the same hairline, and also he's wearing purple and green. Like, just as a suit. It's crazy. Anyways, yeah. There's a really good bit of narration here that I love. Daredevil's about to swing through Clareclevil is about to swing through a barred window, and the narration says, they say if you do this right, it's not supposed to hurt. Not supposed to hurt at all. And then he just slams through.
I don't know how your reading experience was, but I read the first panel of like the middle one where it says it's a quick fight, and I was like, yeah, okay, and I literally just like skimmed through it. I didn't even bother to like look what was actually going on in the fight, and I was just like, oh, okay.
I think the art in this issue specifically is the best out of what we read.
Yes.
There's like just like your eyes don't want to rest anywhere, and I think that's intentional because of like how frantic it's drawn. Like there's no real clear like action, I don't think. So it really, like, I don't know, it evokes like kind of a disarray that I think is pretty nice.
I will say, I think what's interesting is that, you know, and they bring it up a couple of times in this. I don't know if it was just something Darmont was obsessed with, but they really keep emphasizing how much of an acrobat that Matt is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they're like, oh, you're just a glorified acrobat or whatever. And I think that's really interesting because that's such a hallmark of this being pre-Frank Miller Clareclevil, right? Because it's like he's not a ninja yet. He's not like a martial arts genius. He's just kind of a guy that used to train at his dad's gym right now. He's not like anything too special, even though canonically he should be. And I think that's interesting.
Not to bring the MCU into this too much, but remember that part in She-Hulk where he's just flying through the like parking structure, I think it is?
Yeah.
That was very like shocking for me to see for like how like really like grounded and like tactile the Netflix stuff is.
Yeah, the rest of the show is for sure.
I'm not saying that necessarily is a bad thing. I just think it goes to your point that there's definitely different styles you can take. I'm less familiar with like later stuff, but yeah, for sure, this is acrobatics, like just stem to stern.
Ironically, you know, a lot of people will later like really compare him to Nightwing. This is the most that Clareclevil has felt like Nightwing to me was in these issues.
I can see that.
Just like the way he moves, the way he talks to Natasha, the sort of vibes that are going on. Which honestly, that makes sense for the annual because Marv Wolfman did the plotting on the annual and he created Nightwing.
Yeah.
So, you know, it kind of adds up. Let's see, where were we in the recap? Oh yeah, so he's fighting guys. He makes one of them do like a handstand on the other guy. I found that panel really funny.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then fake Norman is like, ah, pocket sand, and he throws like a gas grenade. That's when he finds the dish.
Oh yeah.
There's a surprise tool that'll help us later.
Mm-hmm. And then what do we get next?
We get to
What do we get next?
We get to the stilt man.
He moves unafraid. I'm obsessed with this guy.
It's kind of horror. Like this whole panel. Like you got the Golden Gate in the background that he's like towering over, right?
Yeah. The moon is massive.
The moon's massive. The city. It's a very noir kind of vibe going on here. Stiltman Mark II, I believe. So he doesn't have the antenna. He has this much more like Frankenstein kind of look. Like he has a very prominent brow. He's got big ear bolts. I'm much more used to like the Stiltman with like the hood and the antennas. So that was kind of a surprise. I was like, oh, I'm not used to the Stiltman design.
Yeah, he does have a bit of a... There's almost like a Darth Vader-ness to his face.
Oh, easily. I could see it, yes.
What year was this again?
73. So we're pre-Star Wars, but I would not be surprised if there... Honestly, there might be like some pre-existing thing before either of them that they're both pulling from. I wouldn't be surprised.
Maybe, yeah. If you haven't seen this panel, it is beautiful. I posted it.
He moves unafraid.
Yeah.
Who is there to see him at this hour of the morning? Even if he was seen, who'd believe it? This is San Francisco, Pilgrim, not New York, dig? I think he's 70s lingo in these issues.
And I think
he
he's
says
so
like
funny.
Daddy-O and dig. Like,
Yeah. I also think it's so funny. It's like, who is there to see him at this hour of morning? There's literally 2 people standing on that roof right there.
Yeah. Well, I love the idea that they're gonna see the stilt man and they're gonna like run home to like I don't know, maybe their wives or something, and they're gonna be like, "Honey, you'll never believe what I saw." And
I
she'll be
saw
like,
Stilt Man. I saw him.
"He's from
Stilt Man's not real. You idiot.
Which will,
Yeah.
well, later, that is a big deal. Is that like this story, 117 and the annual really do emphasize it's like when Matt came to New York or San Francisco, he kind of fucked shit up a little bit. Like he brought all his like goons, or not goons, I guess, but like adversaries along with him.
Yeah, I mean, the book moved there, and so threats had to arise, naturally.
Also, his sweater is ugly as hell in this panel. I don't know why I'm obsessing over that, but one of the least sexy Matt Murdochs I've ever seen.
Yeah.
This is where you get the stupid. And then the next page, like we see like Stiltman like the suit, right?
Yeah.
And they reveal that he's wearing a mask under his helmet.
Yes, the way that this works is that he takes his Stiltman mask off, and then he takes his, like, skin mask off. Because I guess he had to pretend to be someone else to do that, like, arms deal.
I guess, but it's the same glasses. Like they make a big emphasis that he takes the glasses off the mask and then puts the same pair on.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so he's got this like inventor like held up in his like in his house, right? This like crumbling tenement building.
Uh-huh.
And then you get the scene of the engineer's daughter strapped to the bed. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, we're in the 70s now. Okay, like we're going places.
Yeah, and of course there's like kind of a dumb, strong guy who he's got as his lackey, and like Stillman's like unhinged here.
Yes. Something about Daredevil beating him is like broken him.
Yeah, he's out for blood. He doesn't care if he literally takes the entire city with him.
I kind of love it. You know, this is the kind of characterization you expect from like a Bullseye or Kingpin. So to have it be like a jobber, like Stiltman, it's kind of like the left field, but I love it.
There's the backstory, but I don't think we have to go over that.
Go read the original Stiltman issue to go all in. However, then we get to my favorite panel of Stiltman on the next page. That last with one ray, I could be ruler of the world. I could be a god. Do you hear me, Claxton? A god.
I can't tell you how much I love this coming from Stiltman.
He's actually insane.
There's sincerely, there's no irony in my heart when I say I love Stiltman in this. He is so good. And like, could you imagine if like Stephanie Phillips, if she wrote Stiltman like this, like, how do you think the world would react?
I would love this. And this is how Stiltman comes back in the new 26. Absolutely.
Yeah. I want him to get a raid that will destroy all of San Francisco, of course. Have it blow up the moon. You know what?
I like talking about it. It's like, I don't understand. From what I understand what this ray does, I don't know why he thinks like this will like bring the city to its knees.
Okay, so
I just have to understand it correctly. Because it's a shrink ray, right?
It's a shrink ray, but the idea is that if you shrink San Francisco, then like the fault line will destroy
Yeah,
everything or something. I don't know.
it's very confusing. And also, I feel like, okay, because if you read a lot of early Siltman appearances, the whole joke is that he's, like, short, right? So he built the Siltman suit because he has, like, a complex heart type. And it's all, like, kind of a penis joke, right? Like, oh, he's small.
Like, this is the logical, like, conclusion to his character.
So I think this is what Darabont does really well, is that when he's given a character, he's able to be like, but what's the next step? What is the logical, like, where's this going with this? And I like that. I think, like, honestly, I think if you tried to talk to him about it, he'd be like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't know what that is, because he's an old man. Yeah. In a lot of ways, he's, like, commenting on toxic masculinity and this like, kind of, like, cycle of, like, when you get so obsessed with, like, petty things like your height or your looks, you go a little nuts, you know? It's like, I just gotta see in Siltman here. Because also, he's drawn ugly as hell. I assume that's on purpose.
Probably. Okay, so...
Do you hear me, Claxton? I'm God!
I believe you, man.
And then we cut to Natasha and Matt at the the library. My bad.
They break into the library, which is important for us to know that for some reason.
Yeah, you get some classic Darabont, like, monologuing in the narration boxes about that. And you get a great panel of Matt reading the newspaper with his fingers. He's like, oh, yes.
Yeah, like, I love how, as intently as, like, Natasha is reading that, like, screen, like, that is the vibe I get from Daredevil, like, running his fingertips over the ink.
Yeah, he's like, oh, yes.
And then we get to the part of the book where I say, oh, so everyone's Spider-Man now. Okay.
Because everybody just gets swing.
Everybody just swings where they need to go. We just do that now. Sure. And it's like, it makes me feel like, oh, well, this Peter Parker guy's a chump. How much money do they waste making webbing? Just use a rope, you idiot.
You idiot.
Everybody else is doing it.
And this is where you get the moment that will come back later, where, like, Matt accidentally says something that comes off as a little misogynist, where he's like, "I'll be careful." Like, whoa. And he's like,
Yeah.
and then you get the random civilian.
We get another random guy. Let's just read this out. Be careful, Tasha. He's a dangerous customer. I can take care of myself, thank you. Fine lady, could you do it quieter, maybe? People are trying to sleep. Who are you?
I love this guy.
And then, that's not even, that man's existence is to set up the transition to the next page where the narration says sleep. Nice dream, isn't it, DD? Too bad you got work to do. Like, what are you talking about, dude?
Yeah, and then you just get this panel of him, like, doing various flips. I assume, okay, so he's, like, trying to find the heartbeat. Like, you see the little, honestly, this is kind of a cool visual thing. Like, you see the heartbeat on the panels, like, as he gets closer. That's pretty cool, especially for the time. But it's just kind of funny taken out of context, because it's like, while Natasha's doing actual work, I'm gonna go flip around for a bit. I'm gonna go.
I am, for the first time in the Darabont writing order, going to randomly search the city. Just pick a direction and then find my guy. Because it
goes,
picks
bingo!
Yeah.
Bingo! With a big red D. I love the color around that. Bingo! Also, I love that he talks to himself. Like, they'd be like, whoa, Matt, let's do it, DD. Like, come on, hornhead. Like, he talks to himself a lot in the Darabont issues.
Excuse me. I mentioned this in my review for the next issue we're gonna go over, but whenever I was reading his Ms. Marvel run, the way that he has Carol like talk to herself in her head has always stuck with me because she always ends like she's always like, "You gotta hype yourself up, woman. Let's go, woman." Like, you know. um, and you could definitely see that with Black Widow here.
Oh, for sure, yeah. It's in the next issue, for sure. I think I know exactly what panel.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we get like, okay, so the henchman. I really love
that. Exclusively refers to as Chubbins. Might I add?
Yeah.
Exclusively refers to as Chubbins. He's not that.
He's not bad. He's just a big guy. He's just a big, tall, strong guy. And I think this is so funny because it's like he hears Daredevil on the roof and he's like, "Oh, those damn kids again." We get 2 panels of him being like, "I'm gonna get those kids that are on the roof again." And like, no, Daredevil. Yeah. So he beats up the guy.
Yeah, he beats up the guy. And then the engineer is like, Clareclevil, thank heavens you've come! I don't know whose daughter's missing.
And so
I guess Stillman took him or something?
yeah. So he's like descending into madness because his daughter simply isn't here. And then Daredevil smacks the crap out of him.
Smacks the shit out of him. Which happens also quite frequently in Daremont's X-Men. So I can only assume this is just Driss's like solution to all hysteria.
So
It's
okay,
slapping.
so I think one of my favorite moments in all of comics, like period, but certainly in X-Men that I've read, is in Proteus. And it's the part where Proteus like warps reality around Wolverine and he becomes like a goo man and like
Yes.
he's just seeing madness in front of him. And he starts to like mentally decompose. And so all the X-Men like team back up and they're like, "Oh, how are we gonna deal with this threat?" And Scott looks at Logan, who's freaking out, and is like, "Oh, he's gonna actually go insane, and like, we're gonna lose Wolverine if I don't think of something quick." And then Scott is like, "Okay, if I piss him off so much, it'll save his life." And then he starts telling him what to do. And then Gene is like, "Oh, damn. David's really giving it to him." And so they just get into a huge fight where Scott...
In case you ever think the polycule isn't real.
Yeah.
The thing that Gene's like, oh wow, he's really giving it to him.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's one of my favorite moments. If you haven't read Proteus, it's great.
It's one of my favorite of the early Darabont X-Men sagas, for sure. Honestly, a lot of early Darabont in this, either this issue or the next issue, he offhandedly mentions Peter Corbeau, who is super important in the early Darabont X-Men stuff. He's Charles Xavier's friend who works at like NASA or whatever, and he's the one that helps them get into space and where Jean becomes the Phoenix.
I don't remember this guy at all.
He dresses like a sea captain for some reason. Like he has a little seaman's cap. Poor choice of language.
Interesting. Okay, let's bring it back. So we cut
How
to...
cool the bottom panel of Natasha is on this page.
Yeah,
Like on the bottom left, that's sick.
I want a poster of that. It looks so awesome.
You got the moon. Well, I guess it's like the early day at this point, because they talk about getting breakfast later.
Yeah.
I guess it's like the rise of the sun.
I am not familiar with this artist, but like genuinely, there are some
It's some of the
wonderful.
best house style I've seen. You know,
Yeah.
it's like it's house style at a very high level.
I definitely hear you on that. I might have to look up what else this guy did. And then, of course, after the most beautiful panel I've ever seen of Black Widow, it's still man just like it's just walking in the sky with a
mentioned King Kong. Somebody mentioned King.
Oh my gosh. I love it so much. Darabont.
So Natasha like sees Stiltman and she swings into action. You get some great narration on Claremont or Daramont's part, like kind of referencing her backstory and like hyping her up. I see what you mean. It's like it really does feel like he wanted to do more with her as a character.
I mean, that next issue is basically all her.
Yes.
Which I am not.
I'm very excited. I think 117 is easily the best one that we read for this. That's just my opinion.
I don't know if I agree with that, but
This is strong. I will say this issue is very strong.
yeah. I think like from start to finish, this one doesn't really let up on all the things I love about Daramont's style, and the art is just like hitting so hard.
That's fair.
But the next one definitely is good.
So she like rider kicks Stiltman in the back of the head. He drops the girl. Natasha gets to swoop in. It's kind of cool they're framing her in what normally would be like the male superhero role, right? She's swinging in to save the damsel in distress. I don't know. For all you gender major studies out there, this is interesting. This is challenging a lot of heteronormative masculine storytelling.
Yeah. And there's something like just about that panel where she's just falling down and grabbing the daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It's very dynamic. Honestly, this whole page looks great. Yeah, some of the best art in this issue is definitely related to Black Widow. So I think I think Darabont and the artist were
They were in cahoots.
critically.
So then Stillman's like, that's tough. He literally calls them little people, which I thought was funny.
Yeah.
This man is obsessed with how tall he is.
And like, he's like, aha, you can't get me up here. And Natasha's like, I have projectiles, you idiot. Just like blasting it.
He blasted with the widow's part, yeah.
And he drops the shrink ray.
That's just in the trash for the rest of the story.
Well, it's not. It's in an alley.
Oh, yes.
We'll get to what happens to it.
Oh, yes, we will.
Yeah. So Natasha's move here. This is, I think, the coolest thing I've ever seen in my life. So Stiltman is like trying to squish her with his foot. It's not big. It's not big. And he's not particularly like heavy, I don't think.
Yeah, I don't know what
like,
Stillman was thinking.
Kind of trying to kick her, I guess, with a really long leg. I don't know. But like, he's sweeping his leg up, and Natasha's like, okay, I'm gonna grab onto his leg, and when he hits the apex of his stride, I'll backflip off his leg, shoot my rope, like do a spin in the air, shoot his face with my stinger. And it's like, it hits so hard for me. Some of the better action, I feel like, certainly in these issues, I want to say. But yeah, basically, Daredevil just finds them. And Natasha gets shot with something that is not a shrink ray. Is it stuns? her, kind of. And so she's just like dangling with her arm
And
dislocated.
this is where we get the cover. And this is what I love about 70s Marvel, is that, like, the covers aren't lies. They're usually just, like, one random panel or two from the story. So this is where we get the cover of, like, Natasha dangling, and that's like, oh no, I have to stop Stillman before she, like, dies or whatever.
He threatens to
Her arm
kill
is
Stillman.
Oh yeah, fucking that was Corey. Stillman, if she's hurt, I'll kill you.
Yeah. And like, if you're Stillman at this point, it's like, maybe I gotta give up the game. Like,
Then he just falls into like a car dealership or something. I don't even know what this is.
Matt swings in behind him while he's like, his legs are extended, and he just like tumbles through to like a car dealership. Yeah.
Dermot gives us like a little physics lesson here. So he's like, there's a fact of life in physics that just like, oh.
If thing is tall, push at top. And it easy.
So did Stilty. I don't know why they're calling him Stilty.
Yeah, the narration calls him Stilty, so that's canon.
Yeah, and Natasha's like, "Hey, Matt, you're so hot."
Yeah, which is like a weird, it's a weird vibe, but also like her shoulder got dislocated. That's, yeah, she's going through it.
And they saved, I think her name's Barbara? Yeah, it's Barbara.
Yeah, Barbara. And so, Black Widow and Clareclevil are like, hey, person who got kidnapked's daughter, let's go get breakfast. And I'm like, well, I want to see that scene. I just want to, like, what are they talking
Why does
about?
it fade to black? I want to see what's going on over there.
And we get an epilogue where an unhoused individual is like, oh man, I gotta find something to flip in this alleyway here, going through the trash. Oh, what's this? A gun? A gun that I can sell for money? And he's like, oh, it's got a radar dish on it. Dang. It's gotta be some kind of toy. No one would ever want this innocuous toy. And so he tosses it in the trash. You wanna read this final panel?
Oh, the final? I would love to.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I gotta hit the mission. Lousy psalm singers, always down in booze and broads. Hate them all. So it goes. The narration. Well,
I would love. All right, steady Phillips. This is my request to you. Please bring back the shrink ray that was thrown in the trash.
Where'd it go? What he was doing what with it?
Yeah, Stillman returns. He finds the shrink ray.
He's gonna go shrink those lousy psalm singers.
Bring the unhoused man back too.
Is it? I don't know why. I love when characters refer to themselves in the third person. So the fact that, like, when we meet him, he's like, "Hey, Eddie boy, what you got here?"
Hey, Eddie boy, we're gonna get on the Marvel wiki now that I've just named myself.
Thank you, Eddie. Very cool.
Do you think Johnny the Rake is someone? Is that anything?
I don't know. I assume it's a reference because Derma is such a big like movie head. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a film reference of some sort.
Sure, yeah.
God. So this is the first one.
Wonderful. Yeah, just what an absolutely amazing outing for your first issue.
Could you imagine if this was your first? Would you be proud if this was your first issue, like ever?
I mean, like, it's got Black Widow aura farming, so like, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't. Listen, if he would have had a run on this character, I really think, like, starting from that point, like, that is a great place to launch off of. But as it is, his work is for fill-ins and also the annual, so it's not really super tied into You could call them filler, I guess.
I do kind of like the continuity though between these 3 issues, or at least of the '70s stuff. That like he's really interested in Matt's relationship with Natasha and Matt's relationship to like where he is, you know. Like I feel like he really emphasizes that like Matt is not a San Francisco native. This is very like much. There's very much him out of his element, you know.
Yeah, the
That,
people and places that exist around Matt definitely inform the way that he acts and goes about things.
I like it.
Yeah.
Would you like to move on to the next issue in the reading order?
Yes, number 117. We get an owl issue.
The Mind Tap.
Oh, yeah.
Colorful font. The Mind Tap.
I love that. Okay. On the... Yeah. Why is it so 3D? Why do they do that?
It's a fun fact. You also get on this title page, from what I understand, because I've never seen them before, Owl's henchmen who are in like these owl goon costumes.
Yeah.
And they have their own little versions of his like trench coat. Like they have little like capes.
Okay, so the scenario is the owl had kidnapped Clareclevil and Black Widow. They're like restrained. Black Widow is bolted.
Yeah, she's like
into a table.
They are worried about her. They do not want her getting out, which will honestly we'll see why here in a minute.
We'll see exactly why very shortly. And so Clareclevil has this thing on his head that will, if I'm not mistaken, this is a device that will suck up all the information in your brain.
Yes.
And Owl can then assimilate that information into his brain.
Yes.
It never tells us why he wants to do that to Clareclevil.
No.
However, what a beautiful surprise it would be for the Owl that he could just be an incredible lawyer if he wanted to.
Yeah, he would be a great lawyer.
Anyway.
I also think visually, and this comes up for most of the issue, we're still in like what I describe as the fat owl era. For a lot of his early appearances, the owl is like a very rotund character. He kind of looks like Kingpin with a wig on. But later artists, yeah, he's very Chubbins. But later artists will decide it makes more sense and he's more menacing if he's kind of like a skinny, almost like a scarecrow-looking figure. So it's interesting. Yeah. It's just interesting. Also, this is on the next page we get the funny Resident Evil reference.
Yes. 5 minutes. Clareclevil. That's all it takes. 5 minutes, and your body is an inanimate shell.
I love his face is brown. He looks so bad.
Yeah, this is like giving like Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde for some reason.
It's very much so.
Like he's so intense here.
And Natasha's like, I gotta get him. I gotta
Yeah,
break
okay.
through.
So this is the first instance I think of her like hyping herself up in that Carol Danversian way. As she thinks to herself. So you remember how I said that this is metal holding her to this table?
Yeah, she's
It is also, I think, made of metal?
Yes.
All she does is focus her mind, and she rips the metal off. And she gets an arm free and blasts the machine.
It's a great image that's wrapped of the sound effect.
Yeah. Which I guess just destroys the brain-sucking computer that he spent years on?
I'll kill you for that woman. like coat cape thing reminds me a lot of Yugi from Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know why, but specifically in this panel, I noticed it. Like, it's very like because it's kind of a part of his jacket, but it's also kind of not. It's like a separate piece. It's very strange.
Saitos, I know you're listening. Give us your take on this.
Give us your take. Yes, let us know.
Um, yeah, so then shortly after, Natasha just rips the other one off and is like, alright, I'll kill you all.
Yeah, she's just going crazy. She's karate chopping, she's kick flipping. The owl guys can't do shit. She's throwing them into the computer.
They are so unbelievably outmatched by this woman. Yeah, it's wonderful. Of course, we get the moment where Owl gets back up and just has a gun and points it at Matt's head and is like, "Hey, here's what's gonna happen. I'm holding Daredevil hostage. You're gonna go on a little mission for me." And I gotta tell you, if it were me, looking at this bottom panel here, the way that she looks at him, I'm like, I'm giving up right there.
Yeah, the fury in her face is frankly terrifying. Like, the fact that the owl is like, no, this will work.
Yeah, I have a great plan, says the owl. I have a wonderful, beautiful plan that won't fail or be, subverted
It's
in
times
any
like these I really remember that his name is Leland. This is very Leland type behavior.
very Leland core.
And it's like, you're gonna run a little errand for me. You're gonna run a little errand, little girl. Yeah.
So we get a cutaway to some other characters here. And I don't know what their deal is, but one of them is like Natasha's chauffeur, and we find out that they got evicted from the place they were living, and the money they have left over, they've just been staying in their car. Like Natasha and the chauffeur just live in a car right now. Like Black Widow,
And the implication
really?
is that they don't have to. It's that Natasha is too stubborn to ask
She
anyone.
won't ask for help. It's I don't know. It's just like
Weird.
it's fascinating. Just like okay, so I was reading. I said this earlier. I was reading from the Epic collection where Frank Miller first gets on, and I've noticed this in like the Marvel universe. Like, if you're not on the Avengers, you could very easily just not have a home.
Yeah, you're kind of broke if you're not on the Avengers.
I'm pretty sure this has happened to Captain America, it's happened to Hawkeye. What it was later on, like 50 issues from now, was that Hercules and Black Widow, I guess, were dating. And so the Champions disbanded.
Yeah.
And so they went to the Avengers, and it's like Hercules literally says, like, "Oh, thank goodness! I don't know where else we would like sleep tonight if it wasn't Avengers Mansion." And Captain America's like, "Well, we love to have you here." It's like this feels like you couldn't do this in the modern day, right? Like,
No, I don't think so. I think people
you couldn't have a story where like Black Widow just is sleeping in her car unless it was like she's literally being hunted right now or something. Yeah, there's just like it's just one of those things about like early Marvel that's like this universe is fascinating.
Crazy.
But anyways, we get back to Natasha doing her Spider-Man bit, just swinging through the city. And so we find out what Leland's whole deal is. He wants her to kidnap a zoologist.
Yes.
And, like...
A particularly famous zoologist, as we'll soon find out.
Yeah. And so his plan falls apart immediately, where it's like, what if she just went to a phone and, like, called Captain America or something? Just like, hey, come help me out, Daredevil's kidnapped. You know, like, she could just do that. She doesn't. Because...
It's a very because plot setup, right? It's like,
yeah.
In real world context, this would not happen. Natasha would just, like, call fucking S.H.I.E.L.D. or Captain America or something.
I would have just shot the damn thing. I had the gun out of his hand and been like, what's up? You know?
We need an issue. Wait, when is this plot established? We need, however many more pages to get to the end of the issue.
Of course. And so Black Widow is like, this apartment is like really upscale and like strangely easy to break into. I'll just give her a nerve pinch while she's sleeping, and it turns out, and like a pretty awesome like silhouette.
Yeah, I like this with the lady and the...
Turns out it's Shauna the She-Devil.
Shauna the She-Devil!
And she, like, immediately dresses down Natasha and is like, oh, here you are, trying to steal and kidnap me. Are things really that bad for you? And I love this because Natasha's like, no, the owl has a plot. Like, I don't have to resort to, like, I definitely have a place to sleep tonight, I promise. You know?
Well, and then even Natasha's not quite sure why the owl. She's like, I suppose he wants your expert knowledge of animals. I suppose. Even Natasha's like, I genuinely don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, and it turns out that like Owl was like in prison at the time that she became Shauna the She-Devil, I guess. Like, he does, like, does he know? He doesn't know.
He doesn't.
Okay.
And then we get a cutaway to some New York stuff that doesn't really matter.
Yeah, Foggy's doing something.
He's real mad at Karen for stealing. I think this is Karen. I don't know.
That's his
I need to
sister.
check. Oh, that's his sister. Okay.
Yeah.
That is his sister. Not Karen, excuse me. That's different.
We get the second time in the Claremont reading order where people randomly go throughout a city and find exactly who they're looking for no reason. Or wait, I guess it's the third or fourth time.
Because the chauffeur and the police officer, they're like, oh gosh, we can't find Natasha everywhere.
Yeah. And did you find this preposterous that it seems like Shauna is swinging off the same rope that Natasha does?
Okay, so I can see it that way, but also if you look, there's like 4 lines here, right? So there's the one that Natasha is holding, and then there's the one behind her, like behind her hair.
Yeah.
And there's the one that Shauna's holding, and then
If
the
you
one
look at the
that's
bottom
coming.
panel, it's very obviously the same one.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know.
And like, Mr. Daremont over here, physics genius, like we didn't need an
You just taught us
explanation for
about
like the
physics.
whole guy falls over. How does this work, buddy? If I ever meet you at a con, your ass is mine.
Speaking of ass, I always forget how skimpy fucking Shauna's costume is in this era. I got to this page.
Later on.
I got to this page and I was like, whoa, I didn't know that we could do that back in the 73 or 74, excuse me, it's been a year.
Yeah, so they follow them as they swing through the city in their pop car, I guess.
So the owl owl throne. We get the owl throne on this page.
The plan is Natasha gives over Shauna, and she pretends to be knocked out. Instead of, I don't know, just sneaking up on him. But that's fine. Makes sense. What the hell is his plan here? Okay, so like, is his mind machine still operational? Is that like what we're doing? Because it seemed like it was destroyed earlier. Like it was pretty
I think the implication is that he's been like fixing it while she was gone.
Okay, yeah, I'll take that. So Matt's awake and he's like, aha, Shauna's not knocked out because I can sense that with my senses. And so Black Widow hands over Shauna. It's like, okay, so now you're gonna free Daredevil. And Al was like, no, I'm putting a net on you, and I'm gonna kill you both, or I'm gonna suck all your brains up into my head. Which, like, do you think his brain has enough capacity for 3 extra people in there? Like, I don't know.
I think that Leland thinks his brain does. I'll say that much.
Yeah, he would get like Ark of the Covenanted or something. I feel like.
Yeah. And you get that panel where it looks like Shauna's topless. Like she has no.
Yeah, straight up, like from the back, like she does not look like she's wearing anything above the waist except for those little tooth
bangles. Yeah.
And so she like beats the hell out of him and frees Daredevil. And Leland is drawn in such a
It
way.
looks like a soy jack reaction of it, dude.
If you made this like black and white, you might.
Never use soy jack.
You could do something, but if you like got on Ava's pad and like just recreated that, that'd be perfect.
This can't be happening to me. Dr. O'Hara's veterinarian. That's some super heroin. Asterisk. Was in prison during Shauna's African metamorphosis. Chronicled in Shauna's own bag, issues number 1 through 5.
Yeah. So Black Widow and Shauna are just beating the hell out of the guns again. And this is like really slick, I think, a little bit of storytelling here, where
I do like this.
Owlhead hits some gas that shoots up out of the floor, and Daredevil's like, oh shit, there's like gas shooting up out of the floor, which I can sense, but I can't see it because I'm blind, right? And so Natasha's like exclaims like, Clareclevil, my eyes, I can't see. And so Matt is like, I have to pretend to be blind right now. So I don't give up.
It's really cute.
The game.
Like they know each other so well. Like they don't have to like say anything. I mean, it's like very.
Yeah, they're very like in sync with each other.
Yeah.
Which
they get a big cow.
I'm curious going forward because I'm about to get to the Miller stuff. I'm curious how like Matt's relationship with like Elektra like informs the book, because I really do love the way that he and Natasha work together.
I do.
At least in these issues, I couldn't tell you anything about anything else.
I will say the 2 issues of the Nascenti run that I've read also really focus on Matt's relationship with Natasha. And it was interesting seeing it from a female perspective.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So naturally, Owl's like, okay, gotta press the advantage while everyone's blind, and Clareclevil's like, I'm going to beat the hell out of you now.
His patented escape ladder.
Yes, he gets knocked next to his purple escape ladder and is like, aha, my escape ladder. I'll never get caught now. And
This sounds very like Batman 66 to me. This sounds very Adam West Batman. It's like, I have my escape ladder.
like you're
Blast!
telling me,
I missed him.
you're telling me that like super acrobat Matt Murdock, the Clareclevil himself, can't catch up to him here? He's just climbing a ladder. And in all honesty, he shouldn't have got away. Like, he got bumped not very far away. Like, you just run over to him. But also, I guess that punch into his machine, like, destroyed what was left of it. So now it's like,
yeah, it's officially broken. It's done. Yeah.
To his credit, I guess, like, there's so much electrical interference that he's like, I can't see. We get a Phoenix reference 2 years before that's a thing. Leland runs away. It's like, costumed fools. They think we beaten, but I've been beaten before, and I've risen from the ashes each time like a phoenix. As I shall rise now. It's like, alright,
Stories away.
I guess you gotta like have a positive mindset about these things, I guess. He's like, I'll concoct better mind machines, and I'll find a new base. It's like, you can't ruin this guy's day for anything.
It's very positive. This panel, or both of these, honestly, also highlight one thing I've always found interesting about the owl. The way he flies is kind of silly, but it also has a very uncanny, like, Phantom of the Opera kind of vibe to it. Like, it's very, like, gothic with his big coat, like, all extended.
Yeah, and I don't really understand his powers.
I don't understand it. I don't know if he can fly or if it's the suit. I genuinely don't know.
It's very Morbius to me.
Yes.
I also just want to highlight, like, just the way that the sky looks in the final panel on this page, where he's just flying away with Daredevil in the foreground. I just think it looks really nice.
I agree.
Yeah, so, like, Daredevil's like, oh, dang, he's getting away. Like, what am I gonna do? Like, it's kind of hopeless. Like, I don't have my club. And then he's like, you know what? Actually, it's time to lock the hell in. And then he just goes. And the narration is, like, just hyping him up so much. He's like, steel-corded muscles flex, snap taut, Daredevil's body stretching for the next rooftop. Just like, we're just going. Like, he has so much determination. In a way that, like...
so well in Undertale. He would kill in Undertale.
Don't get the reference, but I'll have to believe you.
Determination is one of the stats in that game.
Gotcha. And so he's actually catching up to him, despite the fact that he can just fly. And he gets this really great moment where he almost gets him, and he just barely misses, and he catches like a hotel sign that's like off the side of the building. And then
you can't get me.
Yeah, and he's like talking smack to him. To like kind of keep him, kind of keep him in the area. And then he like tackles him as they fall, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 stories, like enough to like do like really serious damage to him, and they fall through like an awning. I think this whole sequence is pretty great. For how stupid it is that we get here with the escape ladder and all that, it sets up like a really great scene. Yeah, okay, so we kind of get to the ending of the issue. Like, Owl's taken care of. I really think we need that final bit there, but then at like the top of the Golden Gate Bridge.
Oh, it's so pretty. I love this sequence.
Yeah, Matt and Natasha are talking. And it's a pretty nice scene where basically she's like, I gotta go back to New York, and like I want to be with you, I do. Or no, Matt has to go back, I think.
Yeah, Matt's like, I have to go.
Yeah. He's like, I would totally help you out in this, like, you're sleeping in your car scenario, Black Widow. And she's like, nah, I gotta figure out on my own.
Can I read it? I love this word bubble that Dermot gives her. It's that, I love you, but I won't come to you except as your equal, until all I want from you is you, not what you can give me. Goodbye, my love. I really liked that. I thought that, I was like, whoa.
Well, hold on, that's not enough. That's
Oh, that's right, yeah.
The next part is, I won't cheapen what we feel for each other by putting a price tag on it. Do you understand? That's like, wow. Like,
good.
That hits. And so they embrace, and they say their goodbyes. And I think it's really funny that he kind of undermines her, like everything that she just said. Because the next thing he says is, but remember, Tasha, when you do change your mind, I have left plane tickets for you, and I'll be waiting. It's like, buddy, she just said she didn't want anything. Which I don't even think that, like, Claremont meant it that way.
It's the phrasing of when you change your mind that really gets me.
Yeah. Which, like, fair enough. Like, he does write Matt with some level of, like, I really put my foot in my mouth here. So that could be intentional.
Maybe.
But that is the end of 117. So you think that that's better than 102?
I do. I like this story quite a bit. I like the owl stuff. I really like how much it emphasizes Black Widow. I'll say this. Actually, you know what? This isn't a very good Clareclevil issue. It's a great Black Widow issue. I'll say that much. I think that's how I feel about it.
I see that. I personally, I think the detour we take, and just like kind of the way that things end up playing out, doesn't, like, it's not hitting on all cylinders all the time, like I felt like the previous one did. I do think there's a few dips, but like, there's tons to like about this issue.
Yeah, it's fun. It's really fun.
I also don't think the art is quite as good.
No, yeah, I would say it's a lot less solid.
Get some great close-ups of the owl's face, though.
But Shadow O'Hara is just a veterinarian. She's not a superheroine.
Gosh. I love how this is supposed to be a bite-sized episode, but we're already going for an hour.
You know what? It's a spin-off. It's a real detour.
It's bite-sized at our hearts.
I'll probably come up with a different title when this goes live. You, the viewer, will have more information than we do, because probably by the time that this goes live, I'll have come up with a different name to clarify this as something else.
They call that dramatic irony.
I know.
Okay, so time for the annual, and I gotta tell
The annual.
I have issues.
You have issues with this?
Yeah, which you haven't quite finished this one yet.
I'm about halfway through it, but honestly, I will say this was the least fun that I was having, was while reading this issue. I was not, I think that's why it was taking me so long to read it. I was just not really, not that it was necessarily, like, bad, but I was, like, I had, like, a smile on my face for the past two. I was very, like, stagnant with this one, personally.
This one very much felt like, yeah, I'm doing this because it's on the list.
Yes. So we get kind of a follow-up from the last issue in the beginning, though. Like, that's kind of interesting.
Unintentionally, I suppose.
Yes.
Just the way that, like, Matt is coming back to New York from whatever he was doing previously. And I gotta say, I think as, like, Daremont's, like, final, like, this is really, I mean, well and truly, this is, like, the last thing I'm doing for Daredevil.
Mm-hmm.
I think his heart wasn't in it, because he didn't have, like, a badass woman that he could, like, choke.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, okay, wait, we can't put Natasha in this? What's the point?
And it's strange, too, because you feel like... So the big thing with this issue is that it is a team-up / a grudge match with Clareclevil, Black Panther, and Namor. And I gotta tell you, Namor feels completely stapled onto this story.
Yeah.
And I really felt like if he had more... He wants T'Challa and Matt to have, like, this really nice, like, buddy relationship where, like, they play off each other really well.
Yeah.
I don't think it clicks for me the way that it's done here. I think he should have spent more time on it.
Well, and I think it's very obvious that, like, the only reason Namor's in it is that the other issues where Daredevil fights Namor are really popular. I mean, they even reference them.
It comes up quite a bit, yeah.
So I'm just like, oh, so we're just doing it. It's like sequelitis, you know what I mean? It's like, well, it was popular the first 2 times. We might as well do it a 3rd time.
Yeah. But anyways, Matt gets back into New York, and
Heather's here.
Heather's here.
Least popular Clareclevil love interest.
I don't know the love interest power ranking.
Well, do you kind of get the vibe of this one that she's like just kind of there? Because that's how
he's like into it, but also definitely brushes her off.
Yes.
Okay, so we cut to this guy. What's his name? Mallory. Yeah.
Yes. He's like he's kind of like a Tony Stark type. Like he invents stuff. He invests.
Yeah, and he's in the energy business, and the only thing he loves is his son. Basically, that's the vibe we get. And so Black Panther, like, not even just like T'Challa, like Black Panther's talking to him, just at his house.
He tells me, don't call me T'Challa.
Yeah, please, it's Black Panther.
Or Panther.
Yeah.
For friendly.
Yeah. And so he sends his kid off with his driver, like, to go to school. And there's a kidnapping plot happening. Meanwhile, T'Challa and this Mallory guy are talking about a plan that Mallory has for a deep ocean energy facility.
Yeah.
The way that it works is that it takes, like, deep sea currents or something, and then it fires a superheated beam up to the surface.
And that's the power?
It's vibranium. Yeah, I guess. I don't know. So
it's very confusing.
We reckon with this later, which I guess I'll touch on when we get there, but, like, Panther would never entertain this idea. So Mallory gets a call, and it's like, oh, hey, your son's kidnapped. And so Black Panther's like, oh, I have skills, let me help you with that.
Yeah.
Which is weird, right? It feels like this should be a thing where, like, the character who is able to save the son should be the one that wants something from this interaction, but he's not.
Yeah,
So
T'Challa's
it's like
just doing it because he's nice, and it's like, yeah,
he's
that's
doing
cool,
it.
that's in character, but
Like you know what I'm saying? It just
I,
it
you know,
feels
I totally see it.
a little strange. It's not like a problem. It just like feels odd. So we cut back to Daredevil in a part that I actually do kind of like, where he's like, "All right, I got stuff to do, because there's a running plot in my main book, but for now, I'm gonna show off to the people." And then he does some cool flips, and some like random guy, is like, "Hey, Daredevil's here! Yay!" So that hypes him up. But then he finds like a completely destroyed cop car. And he's like, "Hey, who did this?" And it's like, "Oh, Namor, just like completely like was going on a rage, and he's looking for this guy named Mallory." And it's like, aha, things are clicking here. And so Daredevil's like swinging, and he's like, "I really don't want to fight Namor. He keeps beating me up."
He keeps beating the shit out of me.
Which is like, I think, out of everything we've done here, is the most girl failure that Matt has been.
Yeah, constantly being beat up by Namor. Also, and I took a screenshot of this because I just had to have this. The fact that he exclusively refers to Namor as Subby, amazing.
Yeah.
Hilarious. Loaded, frankly.
So yeah, so he just like finds Namor flying through the city, who's just like on a just in a mad dash to find Mallory, just any information he can. And so he like kicks him in the back of the head, and he's like, Namor's like, "I thought you were like honorable, but you like attacked me from behind, so now I'm gonna like also fight you without honor, and you're gonna pay for it."
I do like that this issue really emphasizes Namor's title as the Avenging Sun, because I've always thought that was a really cool like subheading, like Namor the Avenging Sun. So thank you, Dermot, for reminding people that that's
It definitely comes up, and I gotta tell you, the only thing I really have to say about this is that constantly throughout this issue, Matt is like, "Oh, I've got to roll with this punch, or he'll kill me," and it's like, dang man, like you gotta stop fighting this guy.
You really gotta stop fighting. This is the third time this has happened.
Yeah. Then we get a moment where like Namor like totally wipes out Matt, but then he's about to get hit by a car and he saves him, but also he doesn't stop to talk to him where like you would expect. He's like, I my fight isn't with you, Daredevil. I'm having like a lucid moment, even though I'm Namor and I would probably never do this. So I'm gonna let you live. I'm just gonna stop beating the hell out of you. I got beef with this Mallory guy. And so Daredevil like stops him, and they like follow the trash.
It's funny.
And he just beats the tar out of him again. Like just humiliates him in front of like all the random people on the street.
Yeah, they're all watching in the background. You can see it when he's talking about their first fight.
Yeah. And so we cut back to Black Panther, who's like, "I'm gonna stop those kidnappers," and we get like a really cool page of him actually.
Yeah, it's a cool photo.
And I was beginning to be like, "Oh yeah, I'm a fan of Black Panther. I've read like a lot of his books. Like, so heck yeah, let's get some lore in here. Let's get some cool Daremont narration for him." And beyond just kind of like saying, "Oh yeah, T'Challa's like kind of street smart when it comes to New York." We don't really get a whole lot here, and I there's not really anything about Daremont's voice for T'Challa that like really sticks out to me, or like I particularly like. Um, So he like spends hours like combing the streets for information, and he finally gets like an address. And he finds the people that kidnapped Mallory's kid. And like this is so dumb. And I don't think it would ever happen ever. Like one guy gets the jump on T'Challa and like pulls a pistol to the back of his head. And then he makes short work of him. And then okay, actually there is like a really cool moment where like there's like a fire escape ladder which like T'Challa like slams into some guy's head. Uh but then a guy with like a double barrel shotgun like says some like weird racist stuff to him and like he's now captured.
Yeah, I got to this panel and I fully had to pause. I was like, what?
And it's so weird too because you expect it to be like a thing where it's like, we're gonna this guy in particular is gonna get his because he's racist. It never comes up again.
Yep, they're never gonna talk about him.
He just is, and like I guess that's like realistic, but it just comes out of nowhere. We get a panel where like Matt is brooding and he looks shredded.
He does. He's bursting out of that shirt.
Yeah. Okay, is this the part with the ransom? Yeah. So the kidnappers call Matt Murdock for some reason. Because I guess they know he's blind and that he won't try anything.
Well, and I
He's
think
like,
it's been pre-established that he is technically the official lawyer for the Avengers, just like how he's the lawyer for the Fantastic Four. So
sure,
it's
that makes
not
sense.
like weird for a former Avenger to be like, "Oh, call my lawyer."
Yeah, but basically the setup is like, so they have Black Panther now and the kid. And so they're gonna hold the kid ransom for the plans for the energy station, which they're gonna sell for a lot of money.
Yes.
And they're also gonna hold T'Challa ransom to the Avengers for less money. Um, sure. Uh, I don't really believe how we got here, but sure. And so obviously Matt's like, well, yeah, I'm gonna go as Daredevil and not as Matt. And so he has this like weird little moment where he's like, we just gotta fill pages. And so
Yeah, that's like,
Daramont's like, let me not reflect on Matt as like a character. Let me make a Superman and and Human Torch reference. As he says they're like iconic phrases. Basically, he goes to Foggy and is like, "Hey, can we get those marked bills?" And then he leaves. Cut back to Namor, just like going crazy, just like fighting police officers. Kind of
where is he?
And so, incidentally, Matt, with the briefcase of money, swings and runs into Namor accidentally.
Yeah, this is insane. He's like,
Because
hold on just a minute, Namor.
we just find people that we are or are not looking for in these books randomly through the city. Um, and I thought this was going to be like an actual problem that like Matt had to solve. Like I thought he would have had to like convince Namor to like help him out with this, but like Namor knocks him into the river and he drops the case full of money. And I figured like, okay, so he's gonna like explain to Namor like, hey, here's what's going on. Like we've got to like, you got to help me for like the common good, and like if we need to fight later, I guess we can.
Right.
But like Black Panther is in peril. No, no, he's just full sending it. He is full sending it on Daredevil. Which, like, I don't really get exactly. It's like Namor's under duress right now because, like, Doctor Doom is doing something.
So, from what I understand, based on my knowledge of Marvel history, this is during the supervillain team-up era for Namor, which, for the uninitiated, supervillain team-up was a Doctor Doom and Namor solo book that was going on in the 70s. And basically, at the beginning of the book, they were teamed up, like, legitimately. Like, they had both come to an agreement and they were working together. But from the first issue onward, it's always the two of them kind of conning the other into working together. So, like, Doctor Doom tricks Namor to punch this thing that he wants destroyed. Or Namor, whatever, right? And currently, I believe the status quo is that Doctor Doom has, like, a mind control implant in Namor that compels him to work for him, if I remember correctly.
This is amazing.
So that's the current status quo. Here's the thing: Superhero Team Up is a crazy book. It's really fun. But the way I've never really noticed it leaking into continuity like this before. Like, it is canon, don't get me wrong. But, like, I've never seen it this, like, important to other books. So it's kind of funny to watch this.
That's really interesting. I do kind of like this bit where, like, Matt is just in the river and he's like, I am so dead if I don't think of something right now because Namor is barreling towards me in the water. Which I guess he bumps his head into the wood of the pier. I don't really know what the implication here is what happens. But he uses this time to lasso the case of money, like the briefcase of money from the river. Which, I don't know, feels like he got like done with the script and then he's like, "Oh, I need like a few more pages or a few more panels." So we just added this thing about the briefcase. I don't know, it was weird. So now Namor is like fully like looking for Daredevil as he gets away. Whatever Doctor Doom shenanigans, I guess he's so pissed off he's out for blood.
He's so pissed about Daredevil. He's like, I don't care how much longer I have left. I'm gonna get this guy.
I don't know a Daredevil. I know a Clareclevil though.
Oh yes, my bad. Sorry, I'm late.
I've probably messed it up like 40 times. Okay, so we get to the kidnapping part, right? So we finally see what like contraption T'Challa and the kid are in, which are like these really weird chairs.
Yeah.
So the guy who kidnaps him and like all the guards leave, and T'Challa immediately is like, just gonna stick my hands out of here because whatever I did earlier, I guess I disarmed the electric chair. Yeah, I'm Black Panther and I figured it out. And it's like, I believe that, but it's pretty lazy that you didn't really tell me or show me how he did that.
And then he just leaves the kid. He's like, yeah, you'll be fine.
Well, okay, so what he does is he stashes a kid in like a closet. And then he busts out of the window and is like, I really hope no one noticed me. And so he beats up some of the guards. And he finds like a van that some of the kidnappers are using. And he jumps on top of the van. And we get this weird moment where what the passenger of the van is like, "Hey," he says, "Hey Gil, you hear something? I could have sworn I heard something land on the roof. You do the second part."
Wait, because
The
for
bottom
instance,
panel.
yeah, with all the pills you popped, Junior, I'm surprised you could still hear it all. Me, I heard nothing. That's funny.
Like, okay, buddy. It's like there's literally a
Sure.
van on top of your car. Gosh, I don't know how much time passes, but Namor's still looking for Daredevil. Daredevil's looking. He's
I
delivering.
like sharply drawn Namor's faces in this panel.
Yeah, he's very pointy. So Daredevil's like
Clareclevil.
Clareclevil is going to make the trade-off, right?
Yes.
But then he happens to run into the van that has T'Challa on top of it. And so they beat up the guys. And there's not too much to say. They throw them in a dumpster. They go on their merry way. They do okay. The way this works is Namor confronts Daredevil, and Daredevil's like, "T'Challa, you hang back. I gotta do this on my own." And so I'm thinking to myself, oh, Matt's gonna lock in, and he's gonna like triumph of the human spirit like Namor here. No, he just kind of explains the deal. And he's like, Namor, I get it. I understand why you're so mad at this Mallory guy. It's because there's a laser that's gonna superheat the oceans and cause like tidal whatever, and it's gonna be bad. How about you let me handle it and you leave the book? And he's like, okay.
That's what he does.
That's what he does. And so T'Challa's like, I guess I don't have to give him the vibranium after all. And it's like, yeah. Why were you ever thinking about it in the first place?
Wait, can we talk about this panel? So, like, Panther is, like, sitting in a tree. Very cat-like. Get it? And he goes, Matt, there are times when I think that one of the requirements of being born to the blood royal is that a man be slightly mad. And then Matt's like, but you were born to the blood royal, T'Challa. And T'Challa just goes, my point exactly.
It feels so weird for T'Challa to say that. It is odd to me.
I just love him. I like stuff. He's like, I'm a little crazy. What are you gonna do about it?
I'm a little quirky. I'm a little weird. Yeah, and so this is a very, that cover of Spider-Man where he's like swinging at the foreground and it's like the Ditko art.
Yeah.
That's what this second to last panel is giving me for them too. Where they just like bust through this giant window that two grown men can just fly through.
And the mobster is yelling Panther and Daredevil like they're an established duo. Like this is something we should be familiar with.
Yeah, and it's weird because that's not even his name. Like it's Clareclevil.
Yeah, well that too.
Yeah. Okay. So this is where the book goes full on insanity.
Crazy.
So there has been no establishment that the kidnapper is into science or anything like that.
No,
he is hiding out in. Okay, the way they explain it is that some college students protested this laboratory working with the US government for like weapons. And so they sold the lab and the mob bought it. The Magia bought it. And so this Magia guy is just in this weapons lab. And Panther like throws him against some equipment. And this is his supervillain origin story.
Yep.
How far are we into this issue where this guy hasn't really been a factor? He just becomes a supervillain. His like body melts.
Once they wrote Namor out of the book, they're like, wait a minute, we still have X amount of pages and we don't have a supervillain for them to fight.
Yeah, because they would just wipe the floor with the kidnappers. That's a really good point. And like, I guess Darmont knew that he couldn't like have this paper thin like Namor's just like in a mad rage the whole time. So he had to pull something out. And so it's such a tone shift too. Like this comes out of nowhere. I can't stress that enough. He becomes like he looks like the Beetle.
Yeah, I kind of see that. Like
anyways,
like that first suit, right?
yeah. And so he talks with like specialized word balloons, which is like, why are we giving it to this nerd?
And I shall be the mind master.
Yeah.
So he has like psychic powers, I guess.
Yes. So what he can do is he can shoot mind beams that hurt you, I think, physically, but also he can manipulate one person at a time. And so obviously he's like, Black Panther, you're gonna kill Daredevil now.
Yeah, so we have our
Black
big
Panther's
superhero
like,
fight.
yeah, being controlled. And so Daredevil like knocks. Okay, so like this guy hasn't been the Mind Master for a page, and he's already like, I could be like Master of the World.
He's a very stilt man in that way.
It's very Stiltmanian, very Daremontian in nature.
Oh!
Okay, so Daredevil like throws T'Challa outside, and T'Challa, like Clareclevil is like, I can't beat him. I've got to like keep him on his toes. I gotta like psych him out. I gotta psych out Black Panther, so I can like break up the brainwashing. And it's like Black Panther is like the most like focused, like honed individual probably in the Marvel universe. I don't really know that that makes sense for him, but sure, Daremont, sure, Driss.
I'll play ball, you know what? I'll play ball.
Yeah. So it was all a ploy to get Black Panther to like Mario 64, so long, Gay Bowser, Matt through another window back into the room. In which case, Matt like flies into what the hell's his name? Mind Master? Yeah. And so now they just start like beating him up so much that he can't like focus enough to control them. And they do a double drop kick on him. Like they both drop kick him at once. And I'm sorry, I don't care if you're Thanos, you should be dead after that.
Yeah, the double drop kick is kind of devastating.
Gosh, and oh my gosh, we're doing another Phoenix bit with like Leland, where he's like, strike me as often as you wish, costume cretins. Each time I will rise again, stronger than before. And it's like, This Darmot guy really likes the concept of a phoenix, huh?
Curious.
Like he blasts T'Challa in the tummy, uh, so Matt locks in and keeps like fighting him. Um, and so like he thinks that he has like infinite power, but he doesn't. And so like he gets lightheaded and like worn out, and then he becomes a Magia guy again.
And then Black Panther's like, all right, time to fuck you up.
Yeah,
I'm just him.
he gives it to him good. Gosh, yeah. So like, he's like, yeah, we really saved the world today. Black Panther. He's like, yeah. I did like this little bit from T'Challa where what does he say? He's talking about how he's like, oh, it's a pity that like soon like another Magia thug is gonna take this guy's place. Like we will not have affected any true change. But then Matt's like, well, we did like stop the oceans from getting destroyed or whatever.
Everything was killing.
Yeah, and so T'Challa's like, I suppose I do ask too much of life, but is that so very wrong, my friend? And it's like I really like that. I think it's really like sweet of like a message. It's like you should expect more, but also like, are these guys buddies? Like, are they tight with each other?
This
Like,
is something the lady and I bring up all the time, is that one problem you'll see in Bat Family writing is writers just assume all these characters are super close with each other. So you'll have like Duke Thomas and Nightwing hanging out, and you're like, can you like, have you talked, like, have you
yeah,
exchanged dialogue?
yeah.
And that's how this whole issue feels personally.
Well, there is a time whenever Black Panther takes over the role of Daredevil. I'm not
Yeah,
familiar with that, but it does happen. But thinking back on like the priest run of Black Panther, I can't like he interacts with like Iron Fist. I don't know if he ever like meets up with Daredevil. Um, which is interesting because that's a Daremont character there, Iron Fist.
there you
But
go.
yeah, so then T'Challa's like, I gotta go back to fighting the KKK in Georgia.
Read
And
my
then
solo.
and then Daredevil like there's a callback where he's like, "We're two of a kind, mad as each as mad as the other, and a person would have to be mad to stay in this business. As mad as a fireman or a cop or anyone whose job is saving other people's lives." Because that's what it comes down to in the end, helping people, making their lives a little easier, a little safer. So good luck, my friend, wherever fate leads you. Which I guess could be seen as Daremont saying goodbye to Clareclevil in this final panel. But also, like, you kind of phoned this last one in, buddy. I don't know. This like really saccharine
Yeah,
ending
that's like
didn't
that.
hit. Um, so there's that.
Yeah, we did it.
Yeah, there's not very much sauce in this issue, but it does show up from time to time. And I don't mean to like say it's like horrible or anything. Like the prose is fine. It's perfectly fine. This is a fine comic. This might be one of the least good things I've read from Daremont.
It definitely feels like they were like, okay, we need to put out an annual Because we always, we've done, because this is the fourth one, so we've done 3 prior ones. They're like, well,
Yeah.
gotta put out, um, gotta put out an annual. And it's like, do we really have an idea? No. Okay.
Yeah.
Chris, do you have an idea? I was like, I guess I'll just keep doing what I did the last time I wrote Daredevil. And I'm like, yeah, that's fine.
I guess I'll construct some kind of scenario in which case someone has to search the city for someone and then they find them. I'm good at that.
That's what I do.
Okay, so I'm gonna call it audible and say that we absolutely do not have time to talk about 375.
No, we don't, and it's fine because it's like he was just an assistant, and
Yeah.
this seems a lot more like a Kelly issue. Which, don't get me wrong, I would love to do an episode where I just talk about how much I like Jeff Kelly's writing, but we don't have the time for that.
Yeah. That is a great issue. I totally recommend, just straight up, don't even read the rest of the arc. Just read that one. And you're totally fine.
The cover is great with like Mr. Fear and like the trial and that's a good classic cover right there.
Okay, so what is your?
You need to pull the curtain back.
Do you know about Contest of Champions 2?
I barely know about the first one, so I don't really know much about Contest of Champions 2.
I have no context for this. I have zero context. So this is a Daremont event.
The whole event, just by Chris Claremont.
Yeah. So heroes fight each other for some reason. I don't know. I think the whole my theory is that this whole thing, like the whole 5 issues, exists only to have been a stunt, like a marketing stunt for Marvel, because we find out that the matchups given, like the heroes that fight each other in like the bracket, were voted on by people on Marvel.com.
Kind of fun.
It's kind of fun, but also like, why do you got Daremont writing that?
Yeah, that's good.
Anyways, it's what is this? The 90s, 97, I'm gonna say.
Oh, so it's some very early internet, like
99
contribution.
maybe. I think 97 was 375. So we skip over 20 years before Daremont comes back to Clareclevil in any way. And so Contest of Champions 2, number 3, includes exactly one panel. Includes exactly one panel of Daredevil. And he is choking out Firestar with his billy club.
It's a crazy panel, because this is probably Firestar's worst costume. This is abysmal.
It's not good, and I gotta tell
you,
you,
the mustard stain of a mask that she has going.
Oh gosh, you're so right about that. She is not serving right now.
2 girl failures in one panel? Crazy.
Oh my gosh. I gotta tell you, I'm a Firestar fan. I used to watch Spider-Man His Amazing Friends when it would come on like really late at night on like Disney XD or whatever. This pains me. This pains me about as much as like Clareclevil's face looks.
Yeah.
It's weird. So the narration, the dialogue isn't even about this fight. It's like X-Men fighting the Brood. So
and Daredevil wins, and like,
yeah,
that's not a slouch, but like, Star is like a relatively strong mutant. Like, I don't think Matt's pulling the win out of this.
I don't know. Who am I to argue with Driss Daremont?
That's fair. He is more knowledgeable.
Yeah. Okay. So issue 4. gives us more Clareclevil. Unfortunately, it is in a fight with Deadpool, and I have to tell you, I am not like an out and out Deadpool hater. I think I kind of hate the way Darabont writes Deadpool.
I think this is one of the very few occasions he has written Deadpool, because I honestly can't think of any other time, really.
I have no idea. Is it really worth doing a play-by-play on this?
Just what did you think?
It's serviceable. Um, there was nothing
Inoffensive.
yeah, like I really don't. I get the sense that like Darabont was like, I don't care about Matt really. And it's 4 pages. And to his credit, I would have liked to have seen Darabont write a story where like Matt beats Deadpool. However, it's Deadpool, so you know exactly how the people that went to www.marvel.com voted. So he wins. And it's like, of course, like the power scaling part of my brain is like, well, yeah, there's no way that Clareclevil would have won. Uh, but you figure something out because you're a writer, you know. Um, Deadpool beats him with like a fake baby that has like a heartbeat. I guess I don't really know how it works. There is kind of a cool panel where like Clareclevil is like trying to like halt his momentum, so he's doing like gymnastics, and he like
Because he's an
he
acrobat.
aggressively smashes into a dumpster. Um, I really don't have much to say about it, to tell you the truth, but I did skim forward and like okay, so like Deadpool wins. What happens to Deadpool? Like he fights the Hulk and just gets immediately just gets stomped in 1 page. Kind of funny. Um, all right, so enough about that. That doesn't matter.
What
So,
does matter at the end of all this?
I mean, the three primary. Okay, what does matter off the top of my head? First of all, Stiltman. Second of all, Black
Absolutely.
Widow, and nothing else.
Yeah.
It's. I wouldn't be surprised if if he wasn't like trying to maybe like backdoor pilot Black Widow solo, which I don't actually know if she ever got one until like what, the 2000s, the 90s.
Let me Google that real quick.
I really couldn't tell you, but it is so clear that like that is what Darabont is here for. Um, I don't, like I said, I don't mind that at all. Uh, but it's just so interesting. Like I just, when I look at the Darabont issues, I see a fork in the road of destiny where it's like you could have really made a name for yourself on Clareclevil. Like if you really wanted to, I think he could have done it. But then also it's like you change Clareclevil like forever if you're like, oh, the defining point is this hypothetical Darabont run. Then it's like, what happens to X-Men? Like, do they just like never take off?
Yeah, is it just like X-Men doesn't exist? At least the X-Men that we care about.
Yeah, it would be such a fascinating world to just peek into for a moment. Um, but like what we love about his X-Men stuff is like it's this huge ensemble and it's like these grand epics, and it's like I don't know that he would have had the leg room for a character like uh Matt to really tell those type of stories.
No, not at all. You're not getting the Phoenix Saga in your Clareclevil book.
Yeah, which, yeah, that would be insane. That's kind of interesting though, how they both have like famously like characters who crash out, like love interests who crash out and rise from the dead.
Yeah.
Famously. That's an interesting synchronicity. Why did I say it like that? I don't know. I don't have any. I don't think I have any more like
Deep
things I
thoughts.
could put up. Yeah, it just I thought it got worse as it went on.
Yes.
Which makes, I mean, the fact that 102 is his first published work is incredible. For like how good that is and how early you can see like he's hungry. He wants to be the writer that he is. Like that I know
Yes.
that he is. And like you can see it there. It really doesn't feel like there's many rough edges at all.
No, I agree. It's like he's already found his voice in a way. He's in his final form from the get go.
Yeah, and it's, I mean, the stilt man of it all.
The still man of it all. Would you say overall this was a pretty fun experiment? You know, looking at like a lesser known prominent writer who happened to work on Clareclevil.
Yeah, so like I just like as a concept I think it's funny cuz like I love him to death. I don't really know him outside of X-Men. So it's just a fun detour and it's like if you look at my reading list, it like it was not at all like a cohesive like story or like run. It's
No.
just like bits and pieces here and there that just kind of exist. There's kind of a through line, sure, and those first two issues you can really feel it because they are kind of close together, but they're not even sequential, like really in a story. They're both filler.
Not at all.
It's just I would encourage anyone insane enough to like listen to this that we just spoiled everything. Like check them out. Like the first two issues, I'd say, are totally worth it. And then that Joe Kelly one is awesome.
We'll have to do some other like Chris Claremont on insert character here.
It doesn't even
Like
have to be. It doesn't even have to be this individual known as Chris Claremont that you just brought to my attention.
oh, shoot! I don't think you're lying.
I just think I think it's interesting to be like, you would never in your life think Clareclevil for Dris Dermont.
Yeah.
But like he's such a recognizable, like high profile person. It's just like, sure, let's take a little detour. Like we got badges to earn. I am starved for Dermont content because they won't reprint iMagneto Epic Collection. I'm so upset about it.
Reprint it.
Yeah, I'm on my hands and knees. But yeah, it's the Black Widow show, and I love it for that.
Agreed.
So yeah, it just, and this podcast was just like only exists because I was like, hey, wouldn't it be fun if we just did this? And it was, I think.
I had a great time. I would love to do more of this format of read a selection, just talk through it.
We can't do this. This is 2 hours. We can't do it.
We can't do this length again, but we could certainly do this format.
Yeah. Yeah, it would. Yeah, yes. There's the.
So I think on that note, we should probably bring it to an end. Thank you so much, anyone who's shared with us this long and listened to our ramblings about Chris Claremont, writer.
Thank you for always wanting to talk about stupid stuff with me.
I'm always willing to get on for a call for 2 hours and talk about it.
Daremont. We love Daremont.
Is there anything you'd like to say to the viewers at home before we sign off?
I've deceived you all. Driss Daremont is not a real person.
Yeah, that's not a real person.
I have lied to you.
It's Chris Claremont.
You should feel like a fool for listening all day.
We're gods, viewers. Don't you understand it? We've become gods.
Not since Stiltman has the public seen such a menace as us. Oh my god.
As always, listening to Thorin saying, go read Chris Claremont, baby. Claremont
and I've got Dillard, and I'm moving unafraid.
Toodles.
Bye.